If I was to tell you that over the course of the next 5 years, you could put potentially over $83,000 in your pocket simply by buying a house today, and it's March 11, 2024, would you do it? If I was to tell you by waiting until January of this month, it could cost you out of that $83,000, just over the next few months, it could cost you about $25,000. Would that entice you to go ahead and pull the trigger on buying a house today? Hmm. Think about it. Now, I know there's lots of talks of, well, there's a presidential election coming up, and there's so much uncertainty in this world right now. And we just feel like the market's going to crash at some point. And why not happen now during the presidential election? And so we're just going to wait a year or 2 years before we make that purchase and make that move. Well, guys, I know. I get it. We hear the media all the time, but what we're going to take a look at is the hard data because I really, really, really want you to be educated with the facts in front of us, just like I am when it comes to making decisions on buying, selling, or investing. By the way, I disagree with all of those thoughts. And so we're going to dive in and show what it really is going to cost you by waiting. And I'm Kelly, the broker and owner over at Ritchie Realty. So let's dive straight on in to our monthly market update. And if you are here for your first time, or maybe repeat person, a repeat offender, if you would, make sure you're subscribing because I love making this content for you guys. Anyway, here we go. Our first graph right out of the ballpark. We're looking at the median sales price for the Dallas-Fort Worth market area. We're looking at Dallas, Tarrant, Collin, and Denton counties, okay? From 2015 to where we are today. Look at what has happened. Yes, we see a lot of mountains. What's happening with these mountains? So the peak of every mountain is about June of every year is where you're seeing that peak. From January to June of every year since 2015, our average appreciation has been 14.67% just for those 6 months in a year. That's crazy. It's insane, isn't it? Now, I know there were some unicorn years right around here, right, where we saw a lot of appreciation. Take out those unicorn years, guys, we're still hovering around 14% appreciation from January to June of every freaking year. Now, what happens between June and July is we do start to decelerate, pull back on that appreciation so that it comes down to about 11% for the year. Okay, yes. And we don't depreciate, we just decelerate on that appreciation. The best time to buy a house, if you're buying a house, is January. That ship has sunk and sailed, right? It's not January. And if you wait till January of next year, you're going to still continue to pay more than what you're paying right now. Now, the worst time to buy a house is June, because that's when you're paying the most for a house. But I know it's inevitable. Some people just have to do it, and that's okay. There's thoughts and processes of things that we can do to combat a little bit of that appreciation. That's a different story for another day. But let's take a look at what is going to happen this year, because I really want you to have all the knowledge and all the tools in your toolbox so that you can make the best decisions. Now, if you've been following along with everything, interest rates are one of the driving factors in what's happening. Take out the election, take out, COVID, interest rates are going to be a driving force in what's happening in buying and selling of real estate this year. And if we look at what here's Fannie Mae, this was done back at the end of last year, and you can see where we were last year. We know that in the fourth quarter, we did not end at 6.5%. We were hovering almost at 8% interest rates at the end of the year. It was crazy. But what we do know is what they predicted this year, as we're getting a tame on inflation, that rates are going to come down. That has been the projection. We actually did start out in January at about 6.4. Now they're hovering around 6.9. I know it's a little bit off. We'll probably get a new projection coming up. Nonetheless, it is predicted that we're going to see those rates come down as we get a tame on the inflation. And what's going to happen when the rates come down? And it's expected that the rates are going to start coming down this summer. Everybody's going to come out that's been sitting on the fence and start purchasing homes. So where we typically see this deceleration and coming down on prices during the last half of the year, that actually may not happen this year. Hear me say that. It is going to all be dependent on what happens with the rates. that is going to either we could flatline and we could stay, or we could actually even go up, but it's going to be a different fall for us nonetheless if rates start coming down. Hopefully they don't come down too fast. Otherwise, we're going to have a repeat of what happened in 2021 and 2022. So now let's take a look at the forecast for home price performance. This is national. Nationally, they're predicting 3.78, as you can see, for 2024. Now, I can tell you for Dallas-Fort Worth market, if you are in our market area, expect it to be higher than that. Just going to say, expect it to be higher. Nonetheless, look at 2025, 26, 27, 28. For the next 5 years, guys, 5 years, that's appreciation. If we were to calculate that, and think about this, our average sales price in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is $400,000. I'm going to show you here in a minute what that would look like in the next 5 years. But first off, let's talk about why I'm telling you that right now is a good time to buy. And you probably heard me say that last month and the month before and last year. And I was absolutely right, because it's costing you more to purchase now. That house that was $380,000 last year is now $400,000 this year. Okay. It is what it is. So let's say you buy today. Here's our median sales price, 400,000. You do a conventional loan, 10% down. Now you're taking out a mortgage for 360,000 at 6.9%. Your principal and interest, not taxes and insurance, just principal and interest, 2371. Come December, you're paying down that loan. That loan that you started out with 360,000 is now at the end of December, 357,543. Now follow me here. I just told you that the appreciation for Dallas-Fort Worth has been on average from January to June, about 14.67%. So at 14, I'm going very conservative right here when I say, if we look at June, from January to June, 7% appreciation. That's conservative, guys. But that same house is going to cost you $428,000. Same equation, put 10% down. You're financing $25,000 more than what you would be today. Now, interest rates may come down 6.2%. Great, wonderful. And your mortgage is going to come down. If you finance it at that point, your mortgage is only going to be $22.59, $112 less than what you'd be paying today. But guys, look at the end of the day, 383 through 335. That's what you're financing. Come December, after it's amortized, you're at 383, 335. That's over $25,000 more if you wait until June than if you purchased right now. That's a pretty big chunk of money when you look at 30 years of a mortgage payment. All right. So what if prices do come down a little bit? The appreciation decelerates in December. Great, wonderful. If we go, remember what I said, back here, we're at 11% typically, even taking out the unicorn years. So when I'm taking this at 3.78, which is the national prediction on appreciation in 2024, going super conservative. That means your loan, or you're purchasing at about $15,000 more. Your mortgage payment or what you're financing is about $13,000 more. Even at 6% interest, yay, you're $132 less than what it would be today, but you're still paying $16,000 more, amortizing it, purchasing in December. Well, you're paying $16,000 more, and over the cost of the loan, it's going to be way, way, way more expensive. So let me catch my breath here. What's the solution? Here it is. I've been preaching this for a while. You need to do a refi. Go ahead and purchase it now. Lock in the purchase price at $400,000, right? When the rates come down to the 6% in December, then refinance it. You're now refinancing $357,000 at 6%. Your mortgage payment's $2,144. Do the math. That's the lowest of all three of the freaking mortgage payments. And look, you're still coming out ahead on your total loan amount. Does it make sense? Please take a picture of it if you need to. Go share it. Take a picture, share it, sit on it for a while until it kind of resonates with you. If you've got questions, call me. Let's talk about it. But let's take a look at one other slide I want to say here. As I said, 5 years. So for those of you thinking about waiting 1, 2 years, there is a cost, a true cost to waiting. Remember I told you at the very beginning of this, if I could tell you I could you could potentially put over $83,000 in your pocket over the next 5 years simply by buying a house today. Guys, this is the appreciation schedule I showed you at the very beginning right here. Very, very conservative, especially when it comes to the Dallas-Fort Worth market, because remember, our typical appreciation is about over 11%. Look at this on the conservative measure over 5 years, $83,000, over $83,000. If we go with 11% here in our market area, it's going to be way more significant than that. Could you imagine holding off for until, let's see, well, let's just wait until 2026. Let's wait another couple of years. You're almost at $430,000. Think about that over the course of a loan. So, in a nutshell, I've been preaching this. If this is your first time to hear it, please tune in to my other videos. Tune into the ones that I do in the next coming months, because what you're going to hear me over and over and over again is tell you there's a cost of waiting. Yeah. And the cost is you. It comes out of your pocket, out of your piggy bank, out of your child's college tuition, out of your grandkids. And by the way, yeah, I have to think about that too, because I got one in college and grandkids hopefully down the road someday. So follow my advice. Put this in your pipe, smoke on it a little bit. Think about the $83,000. Think about waiting until this summer that it's going to cost you another $25,000, that same house, if not more. So if you got questions, hit me up on the bat line. Let's have a talk about it. Let's sit down and go over some real hard numbers for you, because I really do. I'm very passionate about this. If you can't tell, I really want you to be successful at real estate, because it is a great hedge against inflation. It's a great hedge against a lot of different things. And it's money that you're sitting on and you're not taking advantage of by not jumping into the game now. Don't wait. Let's talk. All right, guys. So until next time, place your comments below. If you disagree with me, please even let me know. I'd like to know. But we'll see what happens come June. We'll do another update and we'll recap on what happened here. We'll see what happens. All right. Till next time, I'm Callie, the broker and owner over at Ritchie Realty. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, do what you got to do. Take care.